Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. And guys, today we are moving towards our React Native journey and we are setting up our local environment, right? Hope you have seen my previous video which is on a prerequisite and about React Native, so, right? That will give you the brief about React Native and also help you to work toward or learn toward React Native, right? So today we are setting up our environment. If you see my screen, right, so very first step we will do is we will install Node.js in your local system, right, which will help you to run your React Native project, right? And the second thing we'll do JDK, right? As I said, you will be using Expo for this particular series so that it will be faster and easier for you to do setup, right? And next thing we will install is Android Studio. So we are doing JDK because we might be doing simulator. We required simulator or emulator in our system, right? When I say in system, so that you will have your fake iPhone or fake Android phone in your system itself, so you don't need to use your mobile for any kind of development. If you want, you can always see your view, right? Always see your view on your system using Expo, right? We'll come to that, but yes, we'll be installing our Android Studio for Windows system, right? And Xcode for Mac user only, because Xcode is not available for Windows. In this series I'll be showing you demo in both the devices like Android and iPhone. So guys, no worries. So we will see if something won't work in Android or if something won't work in iPhones, then how we can fix that issue, right? Next thing we'll do installing Expo to your mobile, right? So that is very important, guys. If you wanted to see actually, if you want to see actual change on your mobile itself, not on the simulator or emulator, right? So that's why Expo on mobile is important. You have to just scan your barcode which is generated in your terminal, and then you can directly use your application. Next thing is very important. I talk about this in last video also, right? We need to install our VS Code. If you have not done so far, in this video we'll do together. So this is the journey for this video. Let's start, guys. So very first thing you should do is come here on React Native. This will help you to guide. Also it will help you to remediate your issues if you face any issues in your system. So there will be some kind of documentation which might help you, right? So you have to click on the start button, and based on your operating system you can choose one of them. So I know we are going with Expo. I'll come to this in next video, right? So because we are using Android Studio or the Xcode in our system, so very first step we have to just follow this particular setup. So which is like we have to choose Mac OS Android or Windows Android, so any one of them. So if you are on Windows Android, so you just need to install your JDK, the very first thing, right? So but before all of this, right, we need our Node.js to be there, right, as per this. So Node.js to be there. For Mac user we have to just use Brew to install Node.js, but for Windows user it will be very easy. So you have to go to this particular website, which is nodejs.org, the official website, and just download the version based on your system, right? If you are on Windows or you are on Mac, so Mac user also directly install from here, that's not a problem, right? So once you install, right, and you will be able to install this in your system by clicking. So once you're able to install your Node.js, guys, so next thing I told you is JDK. So JDK is very important in order to run your Android Studio, right? So very next thing we'll do is we'll jump to this, right? For Mac user, people are on M1 or people who are on normal Intel Mac, so they can directly use these commands, right? So this Zulu 11 is a distribution JDK for both Intel or M1 Mac. So for both it will work. So you can just follow these commands, right? So which will help you to install your JDK in your system, right? So for Windows user, right, so we'll just quickly select this. So for Windows user you have to just use this Open JDK 11, which is coming in from Microsoft, and you can use Choco to install that one. So it will be easier for you to install. So just follow these commands. These are easy commands to run on your system. which will help you to set up your JDK on your system. Okay, if you already have JDK, then I think you no need to worry about that. You can cross check that one. So I believe till now you have already installed your JDK, right? Both the devices, if you are on Mac or Windows. I believe you have done it. So next step is to install your Android Studio, guys. So Android Studio you can easily download based on your device. If you are on Mac or Windows, you will be able to choose, or you have the option to download that. So you can directly download. So for Mac user, you can install Android Studio and Xcode together, no problem. If you have enough RAM, you can run together Android Studio and Xcode, because both applications are pretty heavy, right? If you run both of them, definitely there might be some lag. So I suggest you run one of them at a time, and so that your application will not hang, right? So now for Windows, you just need to install Android Studio and start working on this. So once you install that, right, both of them, so even Xcode or this thing, Xcode is easily downloadable from your app store. So for Android user, you have to open your Android Studio. For Mac user, you have to just run this simulator. Okay, this simulator you have to run, not Xcode. So once you run it, you have this iPhone running. You can also choose the device, right? You can choose any other device in order to run this simulator. Now for Mac user also, you can just Android Studio. If it is there, you can quickly run that. So it will take some time to run, and there is an option to create your emulator. Okay, so if you open and see this particular section, right, so more action is there. You can go directly to virtual devices. So virtual devices, if you have created one, so you have listed down here, otherwise you can create. So create will take some time, but I will show you how you have to do. So once you click on that, you have the option to choose any of one of them. So I would suggest you just take one of them which has this play icon. Okay, what does that mean? Because we need to install that Expo, right? When we run, automatically Expo will go to your simulator and install this Expo inside the device, so that they have a connection between this device and your application. Okay, so I would suggest you. So I think we have a couple of options which has this Play Store icon, right? So you can choose one of them, like Nexus, doesn't matter, right? So if you're able to develop your application scalable on the screen size level, so I think it is okay. Just choose one of them and just click next, and there will be an option. So let's say I choose this one, Pixel 4, and I'll go next. So there will be some download things, so you have to do these downloads. Okay, and basically this is your operating system which we required to install on your machine, virtual machine. So click next and finish. It will take some time to download all of that, and then you will be able to run your simulator, right? I'll just cancel this thing, and I have this one, and then there is the option to start. So you click on it, it will start your virtual system. So now you have your Android thing running in, right? So now we have two devices which is running. One is Android and one is iOS. So that means we are sorted. So till here we are good, guys, right? So next thing, guys, you have to just install your VS Code, the final thing on this video, right? So you have to just download this VS Code based on your OS. You can choose one of them and then move forward and install, right? Once you install, it will look like this, and you have a couple of options, right? So you can easily create a new file, open a window. So I would suggest you open your folder, so that, or you can drag and drop your folder. So we have this project already created. So what you have to do, you have to just drag and drop. Okay, you can drag and drop, and it will open up in your system, and you should be able to see your project, and you can see your code and icons and everything in VS Code. And you have a couple of more things with VS Code, like you have search icon, you have GitHub setup, you can debug your code here, we have git length. So basically we'll talk about this everything in future videos, right? So let's close this. So this video is all about setting up your environment in your local system. I believe you should be able to do all of these steps, because for further videos, future videos, we required to have this setup, guys, because you have to run your application in order to learn the React Native, right? I believe if you are learning coding, so definitely if you just see the video, it won't work out. You have to install the things. You should have a proper setup. Okay, So once you set up everything, I think we are good to go, guys. And just wait for the next video. And till then, bye bye, take care, over and out.